Ollantaytambo is a gigantic complex located in the sacred valley of the Incas, northwest of the city of Cusco, and possesses one of the most precise megalithic polygonal masonry in the world. One of the most famous structures in Ollantaytambo is the Temple of the Sun. There, we can find remarkable stonework, which includes large slabs of pink granite, intricately carved and precisely aligned. The stone blocks weigh between 50 to 70 tons, and they are fitted together with such precision that not even a sheet of paper can slide between them. This precision, along with the scale and the transportation of the stone blocks, indicates a highly advanced level of technological and engineering sophistication that was not yet available to the Incas. One of the stones has a remarkably precise pattern that resembles a step pyramid. This is actually a Chicana cross, an ancient Andean symbol that can be seen on various megalithic sites all across South America. The oldest Chicana representation was found in Bolivia at the archaeological site of Tiwanaku. And if you look closer at the surface of the other blocks at the Temple of the Sun, you can notice that although they are exceptionally smooth, there are these scoop marks on their surface. This led many to believe that the creators of these structures had some kind of lost technology that allowed them to soften the hard pink granite and manipulate it with ease. We can see the same thing in various other places in the world, including Stonehenge and the Aswan Quarry in Egypt. In a drawing of the 6 monoliths made in 1843 by the German painter Johann Moritz Regendes, we can see that there used to be more stones on the top of the structures which are now missing. And who knows what the complete structure looked like tens of thousands of years ago when it was initially created. Between the 6 massive monoliths, there are smaller stones intricately fitted together. These stones vary in size and shape, but are precisely cut to interlock tightly with the monoliths, creating a seamless wall that is indestructible even by the numerous earthquakes that are common in this area. We can also see various knobs on the stones, a feature which is also observed all across the world from China and Japan to Egypt, almost as if all of these sites were built by the same builders. And just as we observed the precise fittings with no gaps, if we go behind the structure, we can see inferior stonework which looks almost primitive compared to the main wall. Many researchers believe that the inferior stonework is the actual work of the Inca civilization, which found this prehistoric site and built upon it. If we observe the entire structure from above, we can clearly see that in the distant past, this was some sort of gigantic building that served an important purpose. The Inca people tried to repair as much as they could from the old construction, but their methods were simply not as advanced. This is why we can see many gigantic stone blocks scattered around the site, as if the complex was demolished by some cataclysmic event that destroyed and dispersed most of the structures. Some of the blocks are even half buried. The Inca never managed to move these blocks, which had been left there for thousands of years. Some of these multi-ton granite blocks have gigantic knobs, and between them we can see more Inca repair work. Many of the blocks are perfectly rectangular, with straight 90-degree edges and smooth surfaces. Another key site of the complex is the Gateway of the Gods. This section also predates the Inca by thousands of years. Once again, we see a lot of massive, perfectly smooth granite blocks with knobs on them. The stones used are expertly cut and fit together. On the top side of the gateway, we can see the inferior Inca repairs made of small, rough stones and clay mortar, which have nothing in common with the precision of the old megaliths. The gateway continues into a wall on one side, which is truly astonishing and fits together like a puzzle. There are numerous perfectly parallel cavities on the wall, all with the exact same size and dimension. At some parts of the polygonal wall where there are blocks missing, we once again see crude Inca repairs. The precision with which these blocks are cut and assembled suggests the use of sophisticated technology and methods that were not available to the Inca even at its peak. Does this mean that the ancients had advanced knowledge? Potentially even some sort of machinery? Many researchers speculate that the prehistoric megalithic builders possessed the capability to heat and melt stone, allowing them to mold it into the precise shapes needed, resulting in the perfect fitting of the blocks. Just take a look at this fitting and the precision it showcases. In the distant past, there was most likely a second wall on the other side, as evidenced by the foundational pieces and the three-dimensional interlocking of the stones. We can see dozens of scattered stone blocks on the ground with many more buried. On some of the blocks, there are unusual keystone cuts visible, likely designed to secure the blocks together using a type of clasp. This is another ancient megalithic feature that can be seen all across the world. If you look closer at the cut, you can see clear core drill hole marks. What kind of drilling technology could leave such marks on pink granite? On another stone, we see an incredibly precise saw cut going through it. It appears that something sliced the stone, making a perfectly flat surface and then stopping. The thickness seems very narrow. To cut granite in such a precise way, you would need a material harder than granite, such as diamond, and even then, such narrow cuts seem impossible. The Inca had only bronze chisels and stone hammers, so who managed to create this precise laser-like cut on this stone? Observing from above, we can see this half-buried giant granite which has numerous machine marks on it. Although the stone is highly eroded, the clean marks left on it can be seen with ease. It's unknown what kind of tool or machine left these traces on the granite or what their purpose is. On the top of the rock, there are additional carvings that look perfectly rectangular and square with precise 90-degree angles. Considering such a large part of this rock is underground, just imagine how many more clues could be buried beneath the earth. At the entrance of Ollantaytambo, numerous stone blocks are displayed. All of them are clearly artificially modified, showcasing precise cuts and shapings, while others look like they were somehow melted and deformed. Look at the precise angles of this giant granite block. Who knows where its original location was and to what kind of construction it once fitted? And look at this rectangular block which has numerous scoop marks on it, almost like it was softened somehow and reshaped. What kind of technology can modify stone like that? Take a look at this incredible trapezoidal fountain and the precise carvings it showcases. The carvings are on 3 levels, and each level has perfect 90-degree angles and smooth surfaces. These cuts look very similar to those we've seen in sites like Pumapunku in Bolivia. On the bottom 2 sides of the fountain, there are the remains of 2 knobs which are now broken. Many noted that the surface of the granite used for the creation of the fountains exhibits piezoelectric properties, and by swiftly running your finger along the edge, you can influence the flow of the water. There are many demonstrations from visitors who manage to even completely stop the flow of the water using just this method. One of the best examples of advanced ancient technology can be seen on the rock walls of Ollantaytambo. If we examine the existing andesite rock on the site, we can see that it was cut and altered in numerous places. Here we see that large parts of the rock have been extracted, leaving a remarkably smooth surface and strangely large knobs like those found on the granite stones. The material was removed with such precision that we hardly find scratches. Considering the rock is made of andesite, an extremely strong and hard material, the work we see is incredible. Additional knobs can be seen in higher sections of the rock, also accompanied by smooth and precise cuts. Next to these knobs are also cavities carved into the wall. And take a look at these strange marks left on the stone. What kind of technology could leave such marks? Similar channel marks can be found on other sections of the site as well. Here in the distance, we can see 3 niches, which some believe were traces of some sort of giant escalator. At the western edge of Ollantaytambo, we find that the ancient builders fit stones into the bedrock itself with astonishing accuracy and created recesses of unknown function. In this particular location, we can see that the ancients left this strange yet extremely precise crisscross pattern. These patterns, according to many, seem as if they were left behind by some sort of machinery after the slabs were removed. The grid is perfectly symmetrical, and the channels are uniform, measuring mere millimeters. And here we see another interesting pattern. What kind of technology could have left behind such patterns thousands of years ago? Some have even ventured out and said that these fascinating crisscross patterns are, in fact, marks that could have been created by some sort of laser-like apparatus or saw machine, pointing to the possibility that the prehistoric builders had in their possession long-lost technology that allowed them to quarry with ease massive andesite and granite blocks. If we examine the so-called wall of the living rock, we can see huge rectangular sections of the stone removed from the mountain with such accuracy that we can't find any scratch on the surface. What's even stranger is that the corners are not sharp as you would expect if you chipped the rock, but are actually smooth, which makes it even harder to explain how this was done. The smoothness of the andesite makes many believe that some sort of vitrification process was used. According to this hypothesis, The rock could have been heated to a high temperature, turning it into a soft and malleable material that could be molded into the desired shape before cooling into its current solid form. This would explain the strangely smooth surface and absence of any typical quarry marks. Many researchers and archaeologists are still baffled by how such massive and perfectly shaped blocks could have been transported and cut with such precision in ancient times. The evidence at Ollantaytambo points to an advanced technological civilization that existed long before the Incas, and the true nature of their achievements remains one of the greatest mysteries of the ancient world. Ollantaytambo continues to intrigue researchers and archaeologists due to its enormous stones, meticulous craftsmanship, and the various puzzling features that remain unexplained. One of the most enigmatic aspects of the site is the apparent alignment of the structures with astronomical events. The Temple of the Sun is positioned with remarkable accuracy, suggesting it may have served an astronomical purpose for the ancient builders. Some experts speculate that the site was used for sun worship or as an observatory, aligning with solstices and equinoxes. Such astronomical precision adds to the mystery surrounding the site's builders, hinting at a deep understanding of celestial mechanics. Additionally, the terraces of Ollantaytambo are another architectural marvel. These expansive platforms, which surround the main structure, were likely used for agricultural purposes but also serve a defensive function. The construction of the terraces is so intricate that they are often compared to other ancient megalithic sites around the world, such as Machu Picchu and Pumapunku. The careful arrangement of the stones suggests an advanced knowledge of hydraulics, as water management seems to have played a central role in the site's design. Researchers have discovered that the terraces are not only built for cultivating crops, but also designed to facilitate water flow and drainage. This shows that the builders of Ollantaytambo had a sophisticated understanding of water systems, essential for managing agriculture in the harsh Andean environment. A particularly intriguing feature of the site is the enormous stone that rests near the entrance to the Temple of the Sun. This stone, known as the Prison Stone, is a large block of granite that, when examined closely, reveals an unusual flaw. A crack running through its center, suggesting that the stone was somehow deliberately damaged or broken. Some theories propose that this stone was once part of a much larger structure, but was later abandoned due to its failure to meet the necessary specifications. Others argue that it may have been part of an ancient machine or device that was left behind when its purpose became obsolete. At Ollantaytambo, there is also evidence that suggests the site may have had a more complex role than just a ceremonial or agricultural center. Some researchers suggest that the site could have been a power center or an important nexus for trade. The proximity of Ollantaytambo to the Urubamba River and its location along key trade routes makes it likely that it was once a hub for economic activity, linking various parts of the ancient world. Artifacts found throughout the site, including pottery, tools, and textiles, indicate that people from distant regions may have visited or even lived at Ollantaytambo, bringing with them a diverse set of materials and ideas. These interactions could have contributed to the development of the site's unique features, blending different cultural influences into the complex. The site's role as a military stronghold is another important aspect of Ollantaytambo. Its strategic location in the Sacred Valley, with its steep cliffs and high vantage points, would have made it an ideal fortress for defending against invaders. The tight-fitting stones, some of which are too large to move without advanced technology, are thought to have been part of the fortifications designed to protect the valley. Evidence of battle scars on the stones suggests that the site may have witnessed intense conflict, possibly during the Spanish conquest. Some researchers have even suggested that Ollantaytambo was part of a larger network of military outposts that were designed to protect the heart of the Inca Empire, Cusco. Another fascinating aspect of Ollantaytambo is its connection to the wider Inca Empire. Although the Inca civilization is often credited with the construction of the site, many believe that the complex was built long before the Incas and later expanded upon by them. The sheer size of the stones and the skill involved in their construction are far beyond what the Inca are known to have been capable of during their peak. As a result, many theorists argue that the site may have been inherited from an even older civilization, one whose advanced knowledge and technological capabilities were lost to time. Finally, one of the most compelling aspects of Ollantaytambo is the mystery of its construction methods. While conventional archaeology suggests that the Incas used rudimentary tools such as stone hammers and bronze chisels, there are numerous signs at the site that point to the use of far more sophisticated methods. The perfectly smooth surfaces, intricate carvings, and the absence of traditional quarry marks suggest that the ancient builders had access to tools or techniques that were lost over time. Whether through the use of unknown machinery, advanced heating techniques, or other forms of technological ingenuity, the builders of Ollantaytambo left behind a legacy that continues to captivate and confound those who study it.